evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show to A.M.P. Gentlemen, this is such a musical project. I think if I say it, I'm gonna do it wrong. Explain the project that you have that's really a band.
Yeah, it's
Please.
actually
One of
it's
you
a pretty
start.
big. It's actually a very large band, and that's one of the biggest problems. So basically, what we have is it's A.D.A.M Music Project, and I tell people this all the time, Sean. It was a way to make it all about myself and not about myself at the same time. I'm like, guys, I got
Excellent.
a good idea. Let's call it A.D.A.M. So it was artists developing astonishing music. And Damien was my partner, almost out of the gate as far as executive producer. I think it was on album 2 that you joined as an EP, but it was from day one. The Aranda Boys were a part of it as well too. And the concept was, I don't really want to grow up. I don't want to have a regular job. I'd love to be able to. I play games 4 to 5 hours a day, Sean. I'm still a massive
Yeah.
gamer,
You
and
sound
I
like a
said
Toys R Us kid.
100%.
But
And it was to me, it was like, how can we? What do I love? I'm like, I love video games. I love hard rock. I love rock, all forms, 80s, classic, metal, new metal. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, anything. We love it all. And I said I went to Damien with this idea, and I'm like, what do you think? I said, I have an idea that I think we can write some songs originally about Apex Legends, which was the game that I was involved in. And
Hmm.
then it just wasn't sure if it was going to be more than a hobby, but as we started doing it, I realized, man, these songs are great and the collaboration's been fun and it was resonating with people, and I'm like, you know what, this might be something that we want to make a career, and that's what we've been doing, and we're pretty excited about it. I mean, Damien, is there anything else you need to add to that? I mean,
No, I think you said it best. I mean, when we started it, I think it was just, hey, we're going to do this one project. I think that was
Hmm.
really kind of the focus. This is going to be a really fun thing. A.D.A.M had a ton of things he was just ready to get out musically. I think they were suppressed or something in him, and he had to get all of this stuff out. And when he got all this stuff out, I think he goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I have a lot more stuff." So we just continue to do projects, and we're on album. What album are we on now? We're making music at a breakneck pace now. So it's I think
yeah,
we're
so
on.
we've been doing this now for a little, almost 2.5, three, actually been 3 years now. And
Wow.
we released, I think, 4 full length albums. We have a fifth one that's already done. We have an EP, a 6 song EP that's actually done. And we just wrote 11 more songs for the album that'll come out even after that one. So probably towards the end of next year, if not the beginning of 27. So we've got a lot of music, and we tell people all the time, listen, if you invest in us, we've already invested in you guys, and there's music for 2 to 3 years in the can. So and we started to tour this thing as well too. It was more than just, we didn't want it to just be an internet thing. It was birthed kind of out of COVID, but it wasn't. We didn't want it to be a COVID project. Where it was just
Right.
something we during COVID. And so it's living and breathing. And we woke up this Tuesday. We were 39 on Media Base chart, 33 on Billboard and Rock. We visited 5 radio
Congrats.
stations this week. We were featured on Metal Thrashing Madness for 18 straight weeks, our video Punch
Wow.
Out. So, we've got something going here, and and most importantly, we're having a blast. And, the hard rock world, Sean, can be a lot of angst, a lot of anger, and there could be, which is fine, man. We all love it all too. But, we bring like a lighter element to it and try to bring fun,
Mhm.
to it. And we're kind of goofballs and we don't really take ourselves too seriously, but we take the music seriously. But we definitely do not take the subject matter or ourselves too seriously because I dress up as a character called Fat Nukem on stage right now, which is Duke Nukem's cousin. And this is what happens to all the kids when they play video games. They start to look like me. So, and then we bring Lara Croft and Dr. Eggman, and we just have fun, man. And that's really what it's about.
What's interesting is, and I'm gonna ask you a question with this. So, with this project when it first came out, did you had other projects you were doing like other bands? Because this almost feels like this has exploded because it was so natural to you. Like sometimes when you do music and do different things in your life, you do good at it. But if you find something you're like really good at, like you really enjoy even more so, like
Yeah.
you do a day of work, so you enjoy you're not working anymore. This feels like this is so much at your heart
Well,
that it
first of
just
all, I'm working
exploded
harder
because
than I think I'm working harder than I've ever worked before. But for me, it's like it's not really work, right? It's like, so like to give you an example, today I woke up, went to the gym, came home, kissed the wife and kids, and got up in the studio and started working on a song called Smurf Account. which is basically about a Smurf account. For anybody who plays ranked or competitive gaming, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the tongue in cheek and the smile on my face, Damien, as I'm singing these lyrics today, was so funny. And it's just awesome. And I just got off a plane last night from visiting 5 killer radio stations that are supporting the band right now.
Wow.
With Gabe and just performing with them live, being interviewed, talking about the things you love. I mean, you don't really work when you're doing that, Sean, right? I mean, we went on the road for 11 shows, basically over a 13-day period between, June and July.
Hmm.
And I told Damien, I came back. He's like, "Are you going to take you to rest a little bit?" And I said, "For what? I'm ready to go back out right now." So it's not really work if you're having fun, I guess is the point. And I know, Damien, you've been doing music your whole life. It's got to feel the same way to you.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, my brother and I obviously have a band called Aranda, and we've been doing that since we were kids, and it's just kind of in us, and you find a way. I think when something is in you and something is in your heart, you find a way to do it. I mean, everybody's got to pay their bills, everybody's got to figure out all those things, but when when you have music in you and you have and this just the overall enjoyment of it, I think
Hmm.
it really just your whole life just starts going, well, how am I going to be able to do that and still, feed my kids or feed myself or do anything like that? And you just find a way. You just do. If you love it that much, you just find a way. It's hard sometimes, I promise you that, but you find a way.
How has it been having a band nowadays? Because obviously this band is a lot different than a lot of other bands for both you guys. It's not like you start off like in the garage doing this, playing out, touring. Because obviously during COVID, the topic's a little bit different. It's not like back in the days where a lot of people. I love albums myself, but this is the days where everyone does. It's all singles. You do song, a single, a video.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that, Sean, because I think the reason why we pump out so much music is because Damien and I are album junkies. Like I miss the days where, it would be once a year, once every 18 months, you'd get 10 new or 11 new hot tracks from your
Mhm.
favorite band or whatever, right? The reality is that the music has changed. However, we still love albums. So when we write together, we're writing like 12 songs for the LP, but knowing that 6 of them have to be 4 or 5, 6 of them are going to be singles to keep the
Right.
DSPs and the algorithm and all this, the computer stuff we have to do nowadays going. And so you do it like that, but you don't forsake the other 7 album cuts. They're not singles, not because they're not great songs. It's just because we love releasing albums, and so
Hmm.
you do it that way. And I think what's been interesting about us is that when we go on the road, because we have such an arsenal of people that we've worked with, and there's a lot of talent around there, and there's really no rules for A.D.A.M Music Project other than it's got to be good songs, hard rock, and you got to have fun. And you got to be willing to dress up in a character if you're on stage. That besides that, there's no rules really. It gives us the ability to pick some great talented people that join us on the road, and the band can compete, we believe, live with anything.
Who's your audience? Because obviously starting out like this, you've had a lot of music the past few years. Like coming out touring, to be able to tour right now is a lot. Because a lot of bands
Well,
that
we're
have
an
been out for a
opening
long
act.
time.
We're not. I mean, listen, nobody
No, but
knows.
still, but still have your out. I'm saying like what bands are picking up. Who's your audience? Because you still to get on a bill, it's not that easy nowadays. Clubs are different. It's a whole different world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. So
It,
I'll let
it,
Damien. I'll let Damien speak to that because Damien handled a lot of this for the project.
Well, again, you already know it's so funny because I think a lot of the times, and I know this with Aranda, but like, when you're trying to find the right tours and the right situations, it's a lot harder, and especially post COVID now than
Hmm.
it used to be. I think I don't know. We had a way easier time, I think, getting on to tours. I think that we were like, oh, we want to be on that tour. We want to get on that tour. Let's go chase that. Then post COVID, where I think a lot of the times you have, 3 or 4 bands getting together now that are actually top tier acts. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the opening act, so to speak, is not a startup band. Oh man, Three Doors Down's the opening band for this tour. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit different. So as we were attacking and trying to figure out how we were going to tour, not only for A.D.A.M Music Project, but also too with Aranda, we were just like, well, how do we in this day and age get a tour lined up. Because the other thing too is these days club owners, nobody ever wants to take a hit, as far as financial. So if a show doesn't go well, but it's been amplified now after COVID. So now you have club owners that are like, man, you can do a straight door deal. There's no guarantees here, because it's just, and so on the financial end of those things for a beginning or what they call a baby band, it can get extremely costly. So it's just hard. It's just harder to get on the road. And it's exactly what I alluded to last time. You just have to figure out ways to make it happen. And so we played a fairly small club tour with A.D.A.M Music Project it was really cool because the venues were cool, really cool. One of our favorite venues that we played, the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, it's kind of iconic, so we were, and he's repping today too. So you are able to get those particular kinds of things, but man, it takes a long time to line up a tour. So if I said right now I want to line up a tour for, I don't know, November or December, we'd have a tough time getting that going right now. And that's what 2-3 months down the road. But you have to almost plan your strategy 2 years ahead, and so right now we're trying to work ahead to next year and what we're going to be doing, because if we don't plan it now and we start planning it then, we won't be doing anything till 2027, 2028. And that's just how the touring world is working right now.
Right. Well, it seems like there's a lot of challenges just in general. I notice, obviously that's all I do, like bands, is a lot of them are also doing like packages of their friends that are similar, different but similar, to take all on the road. So that's gonna be hard if you're also, a newer band to get into that group. You know what I mean? Because
Well,
then you're still
we were pretty psyched because when Damien was hanging out at a local grocery store and ran into Austin Winkler, who was the original lead singer of Hinder and wrote Lips of an Angel. And now he has a band called The Founder. And that's how we did it. So to your point, it was Founder, Aranda co-headlining, and then A.D.A.M Music Project was opening.
Okay.
And, it was nice because Damien and I with Aranda were able to share the back line. So we shared drummer, shared bass player, and then we had, unique singers, unique guitarists and stuff like that for the A.D.A.M Music Project. But it was just great to get out there and, you have to refine, because we look at ourselves at the A.D.A.M Music Project as not really just a musical act. We want to be an entertainment. It's really it's about it being an entertaining, not so much just like we're trying to be the coolest new band. It's like, no, it's like, come have fun, laugh with us, feel like a kid again, singing songs like it's on like Donkey Kong and Punch Out, and then even some Apex Legends songs and Fortnite songs, and and just have fun, right? Forget the world for a little bit. And I think rock, one of the things I used to love about rock in the old time was it was fun. It wasn't always just about darkness, right? And so that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to look at a little bit of a different angle and really just do the things that we love and get a kick out of doing.
Do you have an idea of who your audience is yet? Are you getting a feel for it? Is it like a wide window of like younger gamers, older gamers, classic? Like,
man, it's a blend. It's wild because when we did, when you first release something, you don't know anything, right? So we released Apex Part 1 back in 2022 in July. I didn't think it did well, but we had 63,000 listeners in month 2 on Spotify after we did that. And the song Octane to this day probably has 1 million streams combined on the platforms. Didn't realize that we were actually doing well,
wow.
Now we're approaching 100,000 listeners, and it's 2.5, 3 years later, right? So actually across all platforms, probably 200 some odd thousand listeners. But I'm just talking about Spotify in general.
Yeah.
And so it's been interesting to realize the audience, and the audience ranges from 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 65-year-olds that have played Pac-Man. It doesn't
That's what I'm
matter.
curious about, because you have such different age groups and different types of games even. So it's such an open topic right now. It's kind of like, I haven't spoken to any band that has, I mean, you guys have certain similarities in other things like projects, but I haven't talked to a band that does it like this. Even your press and your media, you have a lot of it. You come in, you're very organized. You have the pictures, this, that, you know what I mean? You have a lot of presence that a lot of bands don't have.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting hearing this and seeing what's coming out from this band of yours, because it's kind of different.
And I think I appreciate that. First of all, thank you. Nobody would ever describe Damien and I as organized, so we have a good team.
That was an accident.
We got a good team of a couple of ladies behind us that make a huge difference in keeping us organized and getting us press and stuff. But I think, Sean, it's we've all had jobs in our lives. We've all done things we've done in lives. Damien's had 4 or 5 active rock hits over the years and stuff like that. I think at some point we just took it seriously. Like there was a switch that went from this is fun to this could be something that could be revolutionary in the sense that the gaming community could come into rock again, and the rock community can embrace gaming together, and the two collide. Almost was like the worlds colliding, because as you know, gaming music over the last, let's call it 10, 15 years, is primarily driven by hip hop, pop, and rock kind of got lost. It got thrown away. And so we try to give a voice to that. And then because we cover subject matter of new, current, as well as retro, I think people that love games love games. People that love music. And so if you're a gamer, you might like our stuff. If you're like rock and roll, you might like our music. But if you like video games and you like rock, this might just be one of the coolest things you can geek out with us. And that's kind of the way we look at it, right? It's kind of who I am.
That's the connection piece. That's the complete connection piece right there. Rock and video games collide. If you like both, it's kind of a slam.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, it is such an interesting time because I see, I'm going to talk about different bands and how we're doing it now, especially after COVID and everything else. And, but the survival of their band to do so well with almost a newer style, there's almost a danger, maybe less now becoming a one-off, not a parody, but more of like a specialty act, And you want to be long lasting, you want to be fun, Look when Steel Panther came out. Everyone's like, but they can really play. They were all great musicians. But people were laughing at the first album. Now they're on a 5th album and they're still kicking out albums. They had that fine balance where they had to push through and not become a one-off, joke band. They said, no, we're still musicians.
Our stuff's a little different than that. Our stuff's a little different.
No, I meant like just a presentation of like being a new band, having fun, and being put off as a video game band, liking one song, or getting recognition of being good musicians, which you can clearly hear.
Right.
Thank
you. You get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say it in a bad way. I'm saying there is a part of the audience that's going to sit back with their arms like this and be like,
and that's okay.
Kind of get to them.
And that's okay. And my whole feeling to them was, when you see a dude in a blonde wig and a red tank top, wife beater coming out, and he calls himself Fat Nukem, is this a Jack Black? Is this Tenacious D? Is this a comedy act? What is this? The answer is yes. The answer is it's all of it. Oh, by the way, you want a band that writes kick-ass songs that can compete?
Yeah.
We believe with some of the best acts otherwise, why would we be doing this? We didn't believe that. We believe it. We can play, we can sing, and at the end of the day, we try to write songs that are generic enough that they can work in other mediums, because you have to think of that, Sean. But if you know what it's about, it's just, and so to me, that's where the connection, we did a song called Voice of Destiny on tour. It's not one of our biggest songs. It's about a story about Peter Dinklage and the video game Destiny. If you listen to just the lyrics of that song, you would have no idea what we're talking about, other than somebody's epic, he's the voice of destiny, and that's how you feel it. But when you know the story behind how Peter Dinklage was fired from the game Destiny as the voice of Ghost and replaced by Nolan North, magic happens. And I'll never forget it. Do you remember that? We were freaking Madison, Wisconsin, and we sound checked with Voice of Destiny. Didn't tell you anything about what it was. And the sound guy came up to me and said, I'm a Destiny player. That was amazing. You're talking about Peter Dinklage. And I looked at Damien and I said, that's it. When that happens,
he's like, we found our audience. That's
our audience.
America.
That's our audience.
Yeah.
And so, it's just been fun. You learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about, but we take it seriously. And I think that's what I want people that are considering becoming fans of the A.D.A.M Music Project. We don't blame you for doing this, but I promise you, we're the real deal musically, and we do want to have fun and be all those other things at the same time.
I don't know a lot of video games. I know some, as I know, I've followed less, more from my kids. But obviously I know about music. And I just enjoy the music, so I don't think I'm losing much. I mean, lyrically, it's almost inspiring, like a lot of European power metals the same way, sort of, without the game behind it. It's the same
Yeah,
type of
totally. Totally.
inspiring, powering lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I guess what I'm saying is to people that are listening too, that you know, I wouldn't let that hold you back either, because you know, it's just good songs, it's just good music, really, you know.
We appreciate that, Johnny. And that's why you make it, right? You make it because you love it, and then you make it so you hope other people love it. And one of the things, because it's a kind of a cool in the game for hard rock in a sense, if you don't like one singer, if you don't like when Adam sings, no problem. Gabe's coming up next.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't like Macy, don't worry about it. Lacey's on the way. So you don't like new metal, but you like 80s metal, hang in there. It's coming 2 or 3 tracks down the line. So that's kind of the way we approached it, Damien and I. We didn't want to put ourselves in a box other than trying to make conversion, several commercially viable singles that could work in today's modern rock format. We wanted to leave the rest of the ability to be creative as artists and express the song with a rock base in the way we even feel it should be done, right? We have ballads, we have a couple of alternate dance mixes. I mean, we wrote a kid's song. So we're just trying to make the things that we love.
Interpretive dance mixes too.
By the way, the interpretive dance is probably my favorite one. When you're wearing the tutu, Damien, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Go check it out on our YouTube, folks. You won't believe it. No, so
exactly. 6
anyway,
views.
we're having fun, Sean. I hope you can tell that.
I can tell that. You know, and that's why I was not aware of you when I had this package sent to me. I have a lot of music sent to me, and it's usually artists I know. So very rarely do I grab an artist that I find inspiring, talented, but different and interesting, and that I want to get into. Obviously, I think you guys are very interesting and fun and musically talented, so that's why we're talking. But I do want to say that it's interesting, like songwriting, because you do so many different types of music and there's so many different players. Are we coming in with our own songs? Each song you hear the lyric, you write the lyrics. Like, how when like a song can be a certain style when you write it? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you just
So,
kind of
so
rolling with
all
it
the
and then
songs, that's a really good question. So all the songs, Genesis, they start with me. So I will either be inspired by a character. So, for example, like Alloy from Zero Dawn, Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm gonna make it an Irish rock type of hard rock song. And so I start crafting the music on that, with the strings and the bagpipes and all of these types of things. And then I'll send it to D, and then D and I get together several times a year and we write the lyrics and the songs around it. Sometimes it'll start with music. First, I'll write a riff that I really love, like, or just like a melody idea,
Mhm.
and I'll lay down the music bed. And then I'll either write it myself entirely, or Damien and I get together, or we've even had other writers on some of the other songs as well too. And we say, what character does this feel like to you guys? And we discuss it as a team. Other times we go into it saying we're writing a song for Knuckles, and that's what we're doing. And then you just let the character speak to you, and the
Mhm.
music just comes. I'm working on a song right now. I won't tell you the title; it's too funny to tell. But about Galaga, and the music sounds like the game in a sense, like what you experience when you're
Right.
playing the game, not the game, but what you feel
No.
like when you're playing the game. So that's a kind
Now,
of
how
the
are you deciding who are you deciding where the vocals are going to go with that though?
oh that's so I lean heavily on Damien for that. Obviously there'll be several that I sing now. I'm not the greatest singer. If you want something really strong, we have a arsenal. But Damien, why don't you tell them how we discovered that and figure that all out?
Well, when we first started, it was really just kind of a straight Aranda Adam music project collab. It was just going to be
Mhm.
me and Gabe singing the songs, and then we would write the stuff together and we put it out, and that was how the kind of the first Apex thing went. But then we needed a female singer, and then there was such a pool here in Oklahoma City of talented musicians and singers that we had to pull from, just from a lot of the relationships that we had here. that we started ended up pulling some of the best people from here. And every single person that we asked was like, I am so into this. This is so different. This is so almost crazy. We want to be a part of it. And so all of a sudden we went from me, Gabe, and Adam to me, Gabe, Adam, Lacey, Joel, Brandon. There's probably 10 to 15 different lead vocalists on these
Ira.
and Myra, and they're all vetted. We, in fact, as we started getting further down the project, we started actually thinking of their voices even before we wrote the songs. And that was actually, I thought that actually unlocked a different level to some of what we could do, because we were like,
Our songwriting too, and our
yeah,
songwriting.
because we could kind of dream, oh my gosh, it's like they can, when they talk, I laugh because you talk about David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar and the differences in their voice and all that stuff, with the old Van Halen, you could never do dreams, right? Like David Lee Roth just couldn't pull that one off.
You could do it, right.
But then, you have Sammy Hagar and you're like, oh man, we can actually do at least note-wise
everything.
Things out of the stratosphere. So that's what we got when we got an arsenal of people. Like I said, it unlocked all of this stuff for us. And I think it just makes the music even better because we can literally write without any limitations now.
So that would be good for recording, but a challenge if you want to play out and tour, getting like 15 people to go on the road with you might not always be a reality.
No, we don't do that. First of all, Sean, from your lips to God's ears, may that actually be a reality. Because if we could afford to do that, we would love it. But we try to find the 4 or 5 best team members.
I also don't want to have more people on stage than in the audience either. So it's definitely, you want to keep the lower numbers on the other side.
Correct. And so we go out with 6 people.
Okay. And just grab whatever vocals.
We have our staples. We have our staples. Lacey Saunders is a big time staple for us.
She can pretty much sing anything.
She can sing anything. Brandon Fraser's got a great range.
Yep.
Fat Newcomb throws in some thickening vocals from time to time.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's easy using vocals.
The comic relief.
The vocals, though, clearly the vocals are like having so many is like a guitar. You have a bunch of different guitars for each sound you want, and then touring, you just have to adapt, differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's about what our set list is going on, right? I mean, because we're new, we can choose whatever we want. So we can, and we believe our catalog is already 70 songs deep. So
except now we do have to play Punch Out now, though. That's the first time we've ever had to play something.
Oh, really? Now, do you guys, because with Spotify, though, you see your numbers, though. And you kind of get an idea of who's watching what. I mean, who's listening to what, and what the age groups are, right? I imagine you guys have the same kind of stuff that I do in the background for my podcast. So, I mean, you kind of know.
You do know. Our top songs, one of our top songs still to this day is a song called Octane. Aranda stole it from the A.D.A.M Music Project, put it in their set, but I told them I'm stealing it back. So, so we definitely have a handful of those. You got Octane, you got Conqueror, you got Punch Out. You have a song called Eating Ghosts, which is a duet between Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. That's a tough song to pull off live, Sean, because if you go listen to that song, the female singer on that track is so ridiculous. Her name is Myra Beasley. I think it's one of
I'll have to go back and listen to it. I listened to like a handful. You got so many songs, though.
Check it out. You're going to go listen to Eating Ghosts. It'll blow you away vocally. It's crazy.
I will. After this interview, I'll promise I'll check it out. But I'm saying there's so much going on in the creative process. Obviously, it's got to be helpful. Obviously, you guys have your own team of people organizing the rest of the stuff in the background for the media part. I mean, doing the music and doing the booking and stuff is just enough unto its own to not worry about social media, because it is such a thing nowadays where social media and bands are kind of trying to find out where they're at. So it's interesting where you guys are at with it, because a lot of older bands, Belong in the Tooth, have a different way of doing it, and they're kind of struggling. They're like, how much do I do this? How much do I do that? You know what I mean? Do I go on TikTok? Do I not go on TikTok? Do I do this? Am I doing waterfall releases? And then they're hearing all kinds of different stuff, and it's a struggle. But it seems like at the very least, your audience and your band, the way you're doing it is what's working. And it might not work for every style of music, right?
You always wish it would work better. The problem you have is that these mediums of delivery always change how they deliver. So they don't want you to have a lot of organic growth. They want you to, even if you do have a lot of followers, they still want you to pay
Mhm.
to get even your music on the DSPs out to the followers who've already followed you over the years, your previous active listeners, all this stuff, and then they take money. And I understand, but at the end of the day, I believe that if we keep our heads on in the sense that as long as we're having fun and we're enjoying this, it should resonate, is our hope. And
Do you find, I'm sorry, do you find, to me, do you find that the waterfall releases are better, helping you like you don't get a burnout point, like you say, like the algorithm, is there
it
a
gives
certain
you a
point though?
reason. It gives you a reason to say something, Sean. So that, it gives, when you have a new single coming out like we do in 2 weeks, even though we're working Punch Out, it's another thing that we can talk about and then read back and reference Punch Out. As
I
Punch
mean, like, but in fan
Maybe I'm
base,
misunderstanding your
is there a
question.
burnout though for fans, like getting just too much at a certain point? It's not especially more what we're
Oh, I
talking
don't
about
know.
with albums. And this is hypothetical. I'm just kind of asking you how it's working for you because this is very interesting for me because like there's so much going on that no one really knows. So getting this feedback from you guys, like I was always wondering, like, is the waterfall good? Because there's a certain point like people are like, I, it's not special. I can hear them like every freaking month I can do a song from them. Like it's not.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
or generationally are people like they don't want that anymore? Like is it just me, the old man on the get off my lawn who likes the albums and likes to wait?
I mean,
You
what do you
know,
think about, how would you answer this question? I'm curious.
I
weird
mean,
question, right?
no, I mean, I think the waterfall, just from I'll answer it in two parts. One is actually how it helps us as an artist.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so the way that it helps us, if we're waterfalling a release. So when I think of waterfalling a release, I think of I'm going to put the first single out, October 12th. Then
Hmm.
next month I'm going to do the next single, and then I'm going to, and I can do 3 or 4. And if I have an 11 song record, it definitely gives me it's kind of like, if you put out a record in 1987, you do put out the whole record, but they work 6 singles off Michael Jackson's Bad or something. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
each one
They
of
just
those
did it
guys,
backwards. They did it
they just
backwards.
did it, they just did it backwards. And so this kind of does it up front. And it does make you have to wait, but you don't really, it's kind of like your favorite show on Netflix or something where they're like, we're going to give you the first little piece of it here. And then, a month later, we're going to give you the rest of it. And then you can enjoy it as a full body of work then. So it's not going to take you too long. So, overall, if we're releasing a record, what is it,
Yeah.
Adam? Maybe 4 to 5 months of the waterfall, and then the album comes out. And
Yeah.
you're
So this one might be a little longer, like, because we don't know what's going to happen with Punch Out. If it continues to grow, because remember, we're brand new, Sean. So when you're charting, it's not like Bad Omens, who drops a single and boom, or Sleep Theory right now, it
Yeah.
takes us months. So, for us, we used to release 2 full-length albums every 6 months.
Yeah,
We would release every 4 weeks a single in between.
yeah,
So
Wow.
now it's slowed down when the albums come out, but still the singles continue to come.
It
yeah,
feels like it could be a lot for some people, and then but lose specials like and I go back to depth of things like for me, and that's a where it goes with the audience where it could be good where you can cover both of them, I think. Like for me, I hate watching something on Netflix and then waiting. I want to at this point, Netflix for me, I'm watching it all at once. I was just watching Resident Alien. The fact I had to go watch
They're
it,
changing
I
that, Sean. They're
yeah.
slowing down. It has hurt the TV industry so bad by binge watching that because they've lost the water cooler movement. They lost that ability to say, "Did you see Seinfeld last night?" Right? Because not just
hybrid work anyhow is gone anyways also. That's
yeah,
no one
yeah.
talks to each other anymore anyhow.
But it's interesting because they're starting to slow it down now. So they're releasing an episode a week versus having the whole series done and having it
But
30.
I'd wait to the end, I'm saying, and that's where on the eyeball. And that's my question is, do you see there's more people like me or everyone else is like the other way? I guess what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I couldn't put a percentage on it, but I do feel like just overall it does help for us to waterfall releases, because the other way, if we did it the other way, we could get, I don't know, Adam, what do you think? You could get 6 to 8 months out of a record if you waterfall it. If you don't
Yeah.
waterfall it in this day and age, and that just the short attention spans and
Yeah.
people are on to the next thing, we
Yeah.
released this album that we put so much effort into, and it's gone in 6 weeks, and You
Yeah.
know, we gotta scramble to start.
I can see that too. I can see that too. That's why I'm asking, like, saturation versus falling off out of the eyesight of everyone who's got short attention span. Like, it's such a challenge.
Well, the scarier thing, Sean, is with AI music, you know, an actual end user will be able to tell the computer, I'm in the mood to listen to Ronnie James Dio as if he did this, 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 and that. And it can spit out 100 songs. So, when you look at how fast that moves,
I hear you. I gotta be honest with you, I'm gonna throw my vision on that one. I don't think the day-to-day users are gonna keep it. First off, it might affect the work fields and tech fields a little bit more. People use it like that. But like daily, there's so many pieces of technology that come over time that people could have used to change the music, to done art and stuff already as it's gone on. It really hasn't.
I hope you're right.
People are
But
too
I mean,
lazy. People are just too lazy. It'll be a fun thing for them. Most people don't use Chat GPT for other certain things. It might affect something. I was thinking in the long run though, overall, people just aren't going to put the effort into it.
no.
And
I don't
you
see.
can't see an AI performance. And I don't think a lot of people see, like, listen to bands that they don't tour that aren't going to see a band that tours.
Yeah.
And the ones that listen to it for free are not your audience anyhow.
Yeah.
We'll see if I'm right, but this is a theory I have.
Well, we're gonna find out. All of us will find out. But my point in the whole thing is that the algorithms and the DSPs favor content and a lot
Yeah.
of it. The social media outlets where you can reach people, that even though I do a short a week, they tell me I'm supposed to be doing 3 to 4 a day. Who's
Yeah.
got the time to
On
do?
YouTube, like I ask, because I have the same thing. I get gigged for not doing certain amounts of content. I'm like, but you want quality content. I'm not a TikToker.
Problem is the
I'm not gonna be
mediums that
baking a
deliver it
cake in 20 minutes or.
they don't care about quality like we do. So I think there's what Adam Music Project is trying to do is the blend quality and quantity and trying to keep those things as close as we possibly
Well, I
can.
think you have the quality in the music. I'm saying I just don't think for that part, it's just doing these little shorts, these little
Yeah.
clips. I mean, your songs are quality, but who has time to do these little skits and commercials? If you want to do that, you know what I'm saying? You'd be a song and dance man. It's this is that's what the challenge is as an artist, or is that some kind of, I don't know, commercial salesman. It's just two different things, you know. And
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, um, you have to evolve in some ways with what's going on. Like, man, when my brother and I released our first album in 2008, there was none of this stuff going on. There was a whole completely different way to promote your record. You would go
right.
on tour, you would hit radio, you would do all sorts. I mean, but it was more, we weren't doing 10 pieces of content per day to try to,
Mhm.
stroke the algorithms, whatever you're stroking. I don't know what you're doing there, but so now in 2025, which at this point, that's 17 years later, you know,
Wow.
and we really have jumped back into this again with Aranda and A.D.A.M Music Project, and it's a completely different world. And I think I can speak for A.D.A.M too. We're here for it. We're just trying to get the music out. We're trying to figure out lanes to reach people. And at the end of the day, we do want to play in front of people and have a real human experience.
I definitely think that's gonna be your bread and butter. And that's kind of you guys playing out now with this and not being because otherwise you guys, it would be almost, your challenge would be AI stuff, because if you're not touring, there's nothing different about it because it sounds, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
Sure.
If you develop an audience and you're touching people, you're reaching out, and not in the way bands are getting in trouble nowadays. I mean, if you're touching people in a way emotionally, or you're doing things and you're talking to your fans, and that kind of stuff, that's where you're going to foster, the long term.
That's what it's all about. And I mean, even when we went out this last time, just being able to have those real interactions with fans, specifically right after you play, and you're able to get off stage and you're able to shake their hand, talk to them, hang out. I mean, that is what really it's all about. And I think one thing you might be touching on right now is people still crave so much just human interaction, just
Yeah, absolutely. I
just,
don't think that's ever going to change music. That's one of the core pieces of music.
mm-hmm.
It makes it a little bit different than art, because art can be, you don't meet the artist, in particular. I hope it doesn't affect art. I hope artists can still create. I guess in my family, but with musicians, they perform. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That is the best part of a musician to it. You want to go on, I want to hear the mistakes. I want to hear this, and not the mistake with the keyboard or the when the guy forgets his laptop in his hotel room and they can't play. That's not the mistake I'm talking about. I'm talking about the wrong guitar note or something breaking. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff.
The string breaking, yes, and then
Yeah.
you
I want something, you know.
Hey, you love it. My strap
I was-
fell off during one of the songs, and the guitar went bang right on the ground. I was like, "Oh shit!"
But I'm saying that's what makes rock and roll exciting. And I mean rock and roll, I mean like all music, like music in a way. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's the human factor of seeing somebody after the show talking, hey, this song really touched me. This really means a lot to me. Really? That's really cool. Ah, you're not gonna get that with AI. You're not gonna get that with with algorithms and everything else. I mean, I get gigged so much on my show. It gets big, but then like I'll be losing viewers just because I'm not putting anything out. It's so weird. Like, or I'll do a show. I created a show based on music like this, where I wanted to talk to artists, not about when you get your first guitar, when you do this, you know what I'm saying? And get the thoughts processes of artists. Like, what are they thinking? You know,
Totally.
I didn't think there was a lot of it out there. But the content and the algorithms and other podcasters and other music shows have the same problem. They're all in the corner of media burnout. How many things are you on? How many things can you do? It's eating
Yeah.
everybody alive in the creative sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what choice do we have?
Well, I think some musicians are like me, I've kind of chosen my where I've drawn my line in the sand in the hill. You know, I won't do TikTok. I won't do, you know what I mean? I don't count people's Instagrams to come on my show. I don't really care about numbers for people. If I like you, I like you. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
I'm not the perfect model for you know, for that kind of stuff. But I think some artists feel like they had to do all those other things too. You know, guys that are doing albums for years and years. You talk to them, they're like, "Yeah, I got my manager told me I need to start doing TikTok now. I need to do this now." And they're like, you know, I'm 65 years old. I'm not going to do TikTok. You know, I want to write a song. I want to go on tour." So I think artists are going to be able to, at some point, Scott, it can't go on like this forever. You know, maybe an artist will pick 2 or 3 things that they'll do, and there'll be a lot of choices, and maybe they'll pick what resonates with their fans. And maybe a band like you will have more choices, might make it harder because if you have a wider fan base, what's going to serve your song? Because it really comes down to serving the song,
Yeah, totally.
right? And I think that's the big discussion. And I mean, I think you kind of turn the conversation that way, but I think that's one of the interesting things is being a new band and getting the word out there. I mean, I want people to hear you. That's why you're on here. But it's like the long term. What's you know, what's the best way?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think it really is a question I think we all ask ourselves. And I think it comes down to just, like you were saying, your inner compass, where it's like, this is what I'm willing to do, and this is what
Yeah.
I want to do. And I think the coolest thing is, I have so many different friends in the industry now that are doing it in so many different ways. And I have some friends now that have just like recently decided to get off of Spotify and get off
Yep.
and do the direct. I applaud that too. I think it's great, and I think everybody has to kind of figure out their path. I think as long as the end goal is getting your music out to people, connecting with fans and doing all that, no matter how you do it, I mean, you got to figure that out for yourself. But I think that's really always the end goal for most artists.
I've seen programs where you can go, like I know someone has a website that an artist can go and then not really much pay for bandwidth. And you can do all your interaction there. You can buy your stuff there, you can sell stuff, you can stream stuff to the fans. It's like everything
Yeah.
in one spot, which is fantastic. And the price is based on what the artist uses. So it's affordable for the artist. It's not about because it was designed by an artist. It was, Dweezil Zappa designed it.
What is it?
So
What's the
he
name of the
uses
app?
it.
What is the name of that app, Sean?
I'll have to get the name of it. It's a website thing. I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
Dweezil
send
Zappa
it.
runs his show, his stuff off of it. He streams his music. He puts all his stuff out there pretty much. He does do other socials, but that was a main idea for a lot of bands to kind of go on and use it. It's a good project. So when we get done talking today, I'll shoot it over. You'll have to look it up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just different ways of doing it. I think the point is also, and I'll tell you guys too. Just so many guys in the band, you guys can break it up. So one person can do TikTok, one person can do one thing. You won't get burned out.
No,
Definitely make sure you don't.
I do everything, Sean.
Well, don't.
I do.
You're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out.
The one thing about me, I'm a little bit unique in the sense that I'm kind of irrepressible, and I have a lot of
Pronounced
energy,
irresponsible.
but I'm also responsible.
Yeah, I said, no, joking with you. I said it's pronounced irresponsible. I'm just joking with you.
That's right. And so, I actually don't mind doing it. I mean, I'm passionate about it, so I just do it.
Just be careful. There's a burnout.
Oh, I'm sure there's a
Good,
burnout.
good for you. I've been doing this for years. And I was hitting hard all the time, like every day, and then just at the point where I'm like, I just, and I know it's common. Some people just go for like I was just crazy, and then like, and I know a lot of people for years and years, like I was the same way. And there's a point where you just like lose your soul.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's just a warning. I'm telling you, don't go that far.
I
Well,
appreciate
what the
that.
heck? It's just find a few things and put your barriers up. And I think I want everybody to hear that because social media will destroy you. And you don't
I
want to take
guess
away from your band if you start
I'm
getting
having to
bitter
create
or
my
tired,
OnlyFans channel now.
you know. Um, but it's important, and I'm glad you guys are touring. I think you guys would be great on a bill, like a mixed bill, like a festival type bill.
That'd be
We have
awesome.
a lot of different bands because that's the kind of band you are. Like, it's such an eclectic fan base,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Also, Tenacious D, Steel
Oh
Panther.
God, yeah.
Those would be great bands for us to open up for.
100%.
A lot of bands like that. Actually, yeah. There's actually even more, and I can't even think of some now, but I talked to a lot of them are like that now. You know.
I had a vision the other day that imagine if I was on Jimmy Kimmel and he's interviewing me and he says, "What's next for you out of music projects?" And I'll say, "Well, Jimmy, do you know Jack Black? Could you let him know? Do a song with him and do something fun with that?" Because that's kind of like the heart of what we are, you know, trying to make really great music, fun, having fun, entertainment, and having people enter in with that with us is what we're looking for as we build our fan base. And so, we're trying to figure it all out at the same time.
You guys will be fun touring also with maybe with Tragedy and maybe Metallica. Some of
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys are fun.
Yep.
You
First of
know.
all, Metallica was like, did you say Metallica?
No, I said Beatallica, the
Oh,
Beatles Metallica band.
I thought you said Metallica. I was like,
No, Metallica would be good too, but I know what I'm saying, but
no, hold on.
Beatallica
First of
because
all,
it's a crossover
those guys would
audience.
be good touring with Metallica. If I toured Metallica, I don't even think I could get out of bed that day. That would be like the crudest day. That would be like, I don't even know what just happened.
He's talking realistic options here.
We would all like that. We would all like that. There's a lot of things I could talk about too.
Damien, I totally get it. I wasn't sure if I was hearing.
That's good.
I wasn't sure if I was hearing it correctly.
No, but Beatallica, they're a great Beatles. They do Beatles Metallica songs together. They're actually endorsed by the band too. It's the only band that's endorsed by them. They're really good.
I don't think I've ever heard that. Metallica.
Either I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to.
I've had they're pretty fun. And Tragedy does all the disco and rock stuff. They're a fun band too. They put on a good live show. Once again, it'd be a fun band. Those are fun
Royal
artists.
Republic. Are you familiar with Royal Republic? Royal
Yep.
Republic. I love those guys. I think that would be a great bill too.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of places I do think your music leaves it open for a lot of bands like that, But just think of bands that are like that. Those are the two bands I just noticed. Very talented artists, just like you guys, but they also have fun. They're serious about their fun. You know, those are easier audiences right up for you guys.
I like what you just said. Yes, we're serious about our fun. That is great. I'm gonna use
You can have that for free. I'll be the one person in the music industry doesn't charge you for 90. It's yours free.
Thank you.
You'll never not be charged again by anybody. That was the one time that someone got one charge.
Next time it's on you.
We'll take
next,
it.
next thing. But no, I mean those are some of those things out there. I'd love to see you guys tour, and head up to the East Coast up here near me. I'd come out and see you guys.
We'd love
be
to have
fun.
you. Let you know. We'll let you know when we get up there.
Excellent. Anything else you want to talk about? Any more releases coming out? Any tours? Anything you want to gear people towards? And the links for Spotify and YouTube.
We're making an announcement on Thursday. We have a touring company that actually we signed with that's going to be helping us do this.
Yep.
So that's
Okay.
exciting. And then obviously we continue to release music every 6 weeks, and Punch Out's the highest priority for us right now. So if people want to help us, that's the place we can use the most help, is get the video out, get the song out, get the word out of who we are. And music and video games collide. If you like it, let us know. We appreciate it.
Very cool. Awesome. And who's that dog?
This is Mia. This is my Chewini. She's a
Chewini.
She's a Chewini. Yep.
I can't believe you have this dog on this podcast right now.
Right there.
Why? My dog's upstairs. I have him out of here, so he's not on my lap right now. He wants to wear my human skin like he's on me so much.
I'm coming. Hold on.
Are you bringing Godiva?
See?
Now we've got all.
It's all about the dogs. It's all about the dogs. A lot of music lovers love dogs, and that's how you know you're a good person. Oh, you like rock? You like dogs? Oh, we're friends. Want to do karate in the garage? That's how it goes.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I've had quite a few dogs in my life, and this one I don't know
He's
about.
Cute.
This is This dog right here is amazing. Oh, there's Godiva.
Those are very cute dogs. Those are very small.
Oh yeah, this
How
is
much is
a, it's my wife had a teacup Yorkie years ago, and this is still a miniature. So she's
so what do they
tiny.
say? Dogs under 40 pounds are really just cats. Is that what my dog's like 45. I keep choking him up because I'm like, I don't want you to be a cat. I already have a cat.
Sean, I don't want to give you any illusions. She can't believe that I'm holding her right now. So this is Mama
And
Kid's
on
dog.
TV, right? Yeah, on the podcast too. The big debut, right? With both of them. They're very cute.
Godiva,
They're very
big
cute.
debut.
I
Let
see
me-
another
very
band.
cute.
I see another band forming.
You know, and it's funny because a lot of ours are taking their animals on tour. When I'm done talking to you guys, I'm taking my dog to the dog park. I mean, that's just, you know, music and dogs. You know, music and
Dogs. That should be another sideshow.
that should no, because then I'll start doing TikTok and then they'll want me to do more media stuff and I can't. My heart will break.
It's like I'm over.
I just want to do music. I just want to talk about music to everybody. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I want to have you back. You have an open
Thank you,
invite to
Sean.
come back
Thank you
again.
so
All
much
right.
Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate you.
I'm glad we could do this.